Hey guys, this is day 74 of startup. So I'm planning to register my company and there are some things I have to consider for making it ready for future investments or else there might be problems. So I have already got some $5,000 of funding earlier, around 1.5 months ago from my friend in India. But at that time, I did not register the company. I just took the money from him on my personal account and I've been spending that money and I will issue him accordingly the equity when I will register my company. And because this friend knew me too well, it wasn't necessary at that point of time to just register immediately, and that was also a very small amount, so I did not want to get into the hassle immediately. But now I am preparing for a bigger growth, and also I have an investor ready for a bigger amount, not too big, but again around 20,000 USD. And so I'm trying to see like if I can register my company now. So originally I was planning to register my company in Canada, but this new investor will be coming from USA. So he said that I should look into QSBS, and QSBS is a qualified small business scheme in America. And if a business is less than 50 million USD at the time of investment, then the investor can take exemption on all the capital gains and he doesn't have to pay tax on it. So capital gain tax is if you have purchased equity or a share in a company and then that share value goes up. So whatever the profit you receive on that, you have to pay 20% tax to the government in USA. But if you invest in under the qualified small business scheme, if you invest in a startup, then actually you don't have to pay any tax on a $10 million gains. So yeah, my investor said that he can invest if I register my company in USA. So so I looked into that and I think it makes a fair, I mean, it's a fair request. Although if I registered the company in Canada, I would have myself gotten a capital gains tax redemption up to $1 million. So up till $1 million, I would have saved around $200,000 in tax. But I think I'm willing to take that personal loss for the company growth. So getting a fund from an investor is not just about getting the fund, but it also builds a story. It shows people are having faith in you, people around you, and it builds a story for the future investors. So that is why I'm going to work with this QSBS and register a company in USA. Now for QSBS to be applied, this company should be registered as a C Corp, not as a LLC. So if you register your company in USA, you will be shown two options. It will be either a C Corp or a S Corp or a LLC. Now I did not go into the details of all of those. I just learned that C Corp is what I need to qualify for QSBS. So that's all I'm going to do. It may be a little more expensive to register a C Corp, but that's it. Now the third thing to note is to register your company in Delaware. Delaware is a state in USA. So originally I got to know about this when I was discussing with a friend after I got to know about QSBS that do you know how to register a company in USA from um, Canada. So this friend was in India and he had registered in his previous startup a subsidiary in USA. So he said, yeah, registered in Delaware. And then another person told me the same thing, and both of them told that most Indian companies are registering their offices in Delaware, America, because it is very easy to do there and very cheap. So that was more like a preference, but I was still thinking whether I should really go for the cheap or should I go for the best, because best would have been probably San Francisco, where every investor lives. So I wasn't very keen on saving this money, but then I was talking to a very successful entrepreneur here who has sold two of his companies, and here means in Canada. And he said, of course, you have to register in Delaware, or else many investors will not even invest in your company. And that's when I my like head spun a little bit, and I tried to find out like what's so special about Delaware, and I tried to do search why investors prefer company in Delaware. And then it seems like Delaware has made some corporate laws which are very friendly for the investors and for the corporates. And also the bureaucracy is much simplified, So for many of these reasons, actually there's a whole list of reasons. I did not memorize them. You can go and search on internet. My job is just to tell you some right keywords to search. So I'm decided that I will register in Delaware. How to register, probably I will tell in the next video. Few more things I forgot. There's also a QSBS equivalent for Canada. It's not up to $10 million. It's a much lower number, according to which the investors will probably save money if the company exists in Canada. But I decided to let it go because, to get something you have to lose something, close some doors to open some doors. So yeah, I'm closing the door from the Canada investors to open the door for the US investors, because Canada investors will always be a small market compared to the US investor, which is like huge. Second thing is, like I talked about, that I may incur a loss of $200,000 in tax at the time of acquisition. But that also I think we can save. There can be some ways. I will have to talk to a CA then, and he will guide me. I've heard that people go to Nevada in USA, where there's Las Vegas, and to evade the taxes at that time legally. So maybe such an opportunity will come to me also, or not, I do not care. And the third thing again was a confusing thing for me. Like, if I register a company in USA, then will I be eligible for some Canadian government grants? So grants are some money that government takes up, usually around 50,000 Canadian dollars to 100,000 Canadian dollars, and they do not take any equity in the company. They do not want it back. It's completely given to you like a gift, of course, to do your work, and they check that you are doing your work. But grants are very like good funding, and I did not want it. I did not want to lose on the Canadian government grants. But some people who have been, at least one person, not some people, but one person who has been in this ecosystem here, who has been associated with Antler Canada, told me that you can get these grants by registering a subsidiary for the US company, or also in some cases maybe as a independent Canadian company that gives consulting to the US company. So he said that there will be ways to work it out depending on the grant to grant. And again, now government grants might seem very interesting at this moment, but it will pretty much be obsolete soon, as soon as I raise first serious venture capital funding. So I do not want to plan for the government grants of Canada. I want to plan for the big investments from America.